weapons to sort of balance out his offense, still knowing he has to get something done with Aaron Donald. I feel like Sean McVay has it all going on. And now let's send it over to his dad.
These guys are having a lot of fun with that. I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I re-signed a blocking tight end that was on the team the last 3 years.
Right.
You know, I brought in a fullback, but I also traded our fullback. So I don't know where we're taking that 1998 quote. But what we did in 1998 is we brought in a lot of veteran free agents at the beginning that were tough guys, that were leaders of their position, guys like Anthony Newman and Richard Harvey and Elijah Alexander and Eric Allen, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring in a work ethic like 1998, and I'm excited about it.
There has been a lot of talk about the blocking tight ends. What are your thoughts on the two?
We got Jared Cook now. He's a great receiving tight end. We're going to use, you know, if you watch Philadelphia play, they just won the Super Bowl. They used 3 tight ends a lot, and they drove defenses crazy. And sorry about that, but I like tight ends. They create a lot of unpredictability. The Kansas City Chiefs are in our division. They use 3 tight ends, and they drive people crazy. It's a great package to have. You can close people out in a 4-minute drill, run out the clock. You can hand the ball off on the goal line. There's some great play actions, and I don't think I'm a heck of a lot different than Doug Peterson and Andy Reid that way. I like tight ends, and they're hard to find nowadays because they're not being produced in college football like they once were. So sometimes you got to find them in free agency.
Why aren't they being produced?
Everybody's playing a spread. You know, they don't play in line very much. They're in the slot, or teams are using 4 wide receivers and 1 back. So they're just not in-line blockers like they used to be. There are some, but they're hard to find.
Soon enough, you want to familiarize yourself with the personalities of the players in your locker room. You get to meet these guys.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Would be nice.
Yeah.
Right now, you have a chance to, this is less fun, familiarize yourself with the CBA. How much of a comfort do you have with just the rules, and with that, a sense of how you can make the most of the time you're allotted?
I'm comfortable with it. I've been well aware of what the rules are. I've had players come to visit me because they can't get into their own facility. So the most important thing that we're going to try to do as a coaching staff is have the best meetings in football. And I think to do that, you got to prepare harder for your meetings than you ever did before. If you can have 1 hour, it better be 3 hours of content. You just can't go in there and tell stories and have a good time. And when you're on the practice field, if it's 2 hours or if it's 1 hour and 56 minutes, every second has to be allotted for it. You got to move around from drill to drill. The players want that. They want, I think, discipline on the field. They want organization. And I think it all starts with your coaching staff. And unfortunately, we've hired some really good people.
Coach, you've been behind enemy lines the last 9 years and got a unique perspective with 31 other organizations. What kind of advantage is that going to be the second time around in Oakland?
Because if you win games, you know, it's been obviously eye-opening to see some of the things that I've been able to see, some of the frustrations that coaches have, some of the facilities that teams have put in. It's been a great, I think, tool, but it doesn't guarantee it wins. You know, it just heightens your imagination, gives you some thoughts maybe that other people don't have. I remember when I was coaching the Raiders, I always wondered what Marty Schottenheimer was saying to his team, what his facility looked like, and now I know. So hopefully it'll help us in the strength and conditioning world. We can add a machine here or there. Maybe we can upgrade a facility. Maybe we can put a drill in that I saw in Green Bay. Knowledge is a powerful thing, and I've always tried to accumulate as much knowledge as I can, and hopefully it's a tool.
Jon, if there was one rule or part of the game you could change to make it better, what would it be?
I just try to keep the game as much the same as it has been. You know, I don't like a lot of these new rules. I don't understand them. It's getting awful technical. I'd like to eliminate instant replay, honestly. That'd be my number one thing.
Yeah.
Let the officials call the game, and that's just my opinion. I try not to play that game a wish list. You know what I mean?
Right.
Eliminating TV and having access to all those slow-mo replays.
I think slow-mo replay is the biggest problem with replay. You know, when you're looking at is it a catch or isn't it a catch at that speed, it's hard to tell. You know, it really is hard to tell. So I think if he threw that slow-mo out, I think he'd get back to common sense. You know, let the naked eye determine some of these calls. But it always looks like pass interference when you're going that slow. It always seems to look a little bit more dramatic in slow motion, and sometimes it's not realistic, I don't think.
Are you encouraged that the catch rule might be improved?
What's up?
Hey, no.
How can you improve the catch rule? I mean, you know, I don't understand. What is it? Last year was a three-step process. You know, this year I'm anxious to hear how the vote goes. You know, I've dealt with the force out. I've had to learn the three-step process. I played catch a lot in my day. I got a pretty good idea what a catch is, but I still am not quite clear on it yet.
Rashawn Melvin, do you think he could be a guy that you can say that's your side of the field? Do you have that type of...
We're going to see. You know, we haven't even had a practice yet.
Right.
I've been a head coach for 70 days. I haven't even met any of my players. I've met these free agents more than I've met my guys. But if you watch Melvin play last year, was his best season. You know, they did ask him to go with a specific receiver. I saw him go with Antonio Brown at times. He played left, he played right. I've seen him go in the slot. We like him. I really like our secondary coach, Derek Ansley, who we got from Alabama. He's a perfect guy, I think, for Gary and Conley and Rashad Melvin and hopefully some of the young secondary people that we bring in here.
There have been very few people that have come into your building and not signed. Do you feel like you guys had a good recruiting?
You come in, you don't get out. You know, the magical powers of recruiting. You know, it's been tough. You know, free agency. Sometimes you want to go after door number one, but you don't have the resources to do that.
Right.
And you know, we didn't feel like we needed to bring in 3 players. We felt like we needed to bring in a lot of players. We had a lot of needs, and I think we said that in Indianapolis. Our secondary was decimated. You know, our linebacking core, we didn't have any numbers. 2 of our defensive linemen were free agents. We had a lot of issues, and we tried to bring in a lot of players, and our success rate was pretty good when we got them in the building.
John, how strange.
Gotta love when you get Jon Gruden at the mic at a coach's breakfast. We're bringing you more right here on Good Morning Football all morning long. I think the most interesting thing is that, did he just say he wants to get rid of the entire replay system? Is that what he just said?
I think he did. You know, it's
Instant replay?
He's
That's
gone.
so great.
He gone. It's funny with Gruden because, like, there's a question of what his identity is. Like, he's caught in this, like, I'm old school, back in the day, to, like,
1997.
flash of the future. So, like, sometimes we all think, like, things were better before certain technologies, you know, before cell phones and whatnot, when it was just all vinyl and people traveled on trains, things were better. Yeah, all that stuff. Things were not better before instant replay. Like, we don't need to go down the whole road of Don Majkowski being past the line of scrimmage. At one point, they mistook Vinny Testaverde's helmet for the ball and called it a touchdown. That's why we have instant replay. It's not so we can sit there for 20 minutes and debate what is a catch. We need to get things right, John. I respect it, but we can't keep rid of instant replay.
I feel like he just simplifies everything. We were talking about the no catch rule like cavemen yesterday. Just no ball caught. Like, no, like whatever. He's kind of like that. No instant replay. Shut up.
Yeah, he's like, no slow motion. He says slow motion makes everything more dramatic.
I love
Let's
the
leave
slow-mo.
it to the naked eye. No, let's not leave it to the
crazy, man.
Have you ever trusted somebody else's neck?
Crazy.
Half of the people in the world are colorblind and don't know the distance in front of them. So I say no to getting rid of the instant replay. But something he said was interesting, though. He said, let's have the best meetings in the world. He said, I want to prepare, have that 1 hour seem like 3 hours. And I get that. The rookies, first-year players, they're going to buy in. But those OGs, those older guys in the locker room, they're going to sit back in that meeting and be like, all right, $100 million man, let's see what you got for me. And you're really going to have to win them over every single day. You make one wrong move, you treat one rookie special, you have any type of favoritism to a certain player, vets are going to get out of there. I promise you. I've been there. I've seen it.
Delicate.
It's a very delicate situation when you're a new head coach. Not just new head coach, when you got that much money hanging above your head.
Yeah, Gruden not so new, though. He does have at least a couple of years of experience. We're going to double back to Sean McVay in a bit and talk about how he's going to handle the vibrant personalities that are now in his locker room. And they might even add another one, allegedly.